Today I'm sharing 5 science fiction and fantasy books that you should read this spring. These all have spring vibes of new beginnings, new growth, new life, found family, renewal. The first 3 books on this list are going to be more cozy and hopeful, and the last 2 are going to be a little bit darker for those of you that lean that way in the books that you read. If you have read any books that have these vibes, please leave them in the comments below so I can add them to my spring TBR as well. All of these books I have read and do recommend. The first book that immediately comes to mind is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is a space opera, space adventure that is the beginning of a series called The Wayfarers, and there is a crew that is having adventures through space on a ship called the Wayfarer. And this is very much a found family of diverse crew members. And while there are a lot of conflicts along the way, there's also this sense of hope and renewal and fresh beginnings, and that makes it a perfect science fiction book to read in the spring. Another book by Becky Chambers that is perfect to read in the spring is A Psalm for the Wild-Built. This is a book that follows a tea monk and a robot as they travel and answer the question, what do people need? For me, when I first read this, I was very burned out at work, and this was the absolute perfect read. If you feel like you're burned out, if you need a change, this book very much has that feeling of renewal and a fresh start and finding your purpose. There's also a strong nature component to this where humanity is trying to reconnect with nature, which makes it another perfect book for reading in the spring. Following along the lines of a fresh start and cozy, hopeful vibes, we have Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. In this, our main character is an orc barbarian, and she's trading in her life of fighting and being a mercenary for starting a coffee shop. And in this world, coffee isn't really a thing, as these characters are discovering the delightfulness of bean water. This book is very much a found family where our main character Viv is bringing in characters to help her with her coffee shop, and there's a lot of food and atmosphere, and you will very much want to eat cinnamon rolls while you read this. If you're looking for this level of cozy fantasy this spring, you really can't have a better choice than Legends and Lattes. And up next, we have a bridge between cozy and a bit darker, and that is Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. This is set in a tea shop between life and the afterworld. Our main character has passed away, and he is trying to transition over to the afterlife. And this is another story that is very much about fresh beginnings and renewals, new starts, reinventing yourself. He does have a look back on the way he was living his life before his death. And this is also another sort of found family between him and the people who are in this tea shop between life and death. And while there are cozy elements to this, there is also a darker side. And this is just a book that I really enjoyed reading, and I would recommend that you pick this one up this spring. And then a bit on the darker side, we have The Book of Coley by M.R. Carey. This is the start of the Rampart trilogy, and I first thought about this book because there is a nature component. This is a post-apocalyptic after AI, after technology. It's really the fall of the world and technology. And so nature has started taking over, and it's not a hopeful side of nature. Nature is very dangerous, but there is a lot of renewal in this book because we are following our main character, Coley, who is a bit naive, and this is sort of a coming of age story as he sets out and starts his beginning to life. And I feel like it's a very good juxtaposition to what you experience in spring, but also that feeling of hope and renewal. And there's some unique characters in here, so I really just enjoyed this book, and I really love M.R. Carey's writing. So, if you're looking for something that is hopeful but less cozy this spring, I definitely recommend The Book of Coley by M.R. Carey. And that's it. These are the 5 science fiction and fantasy books that I recommend for you to read this spring. If you have any recommendations for me, I would love to hear them. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you soon.